Mavi, are you in good stead?
To stand by you?
Oh, no.
I don't know what that means.
Right. Good morning to you.
Really?
How's your weekend?
That's like discrimination.
Yeah, I know.
That's like, how dare you ask me that? You know?
Well,
I had a very restful weekend.
I mean,
but that's culture, isn't it?
Not too long ago, I believe even in some communities now, some husbands will not allow their wives, if they were in their periods, to do stuff for them, or even sleep with them.
You know, sometimes it's difficult criticizing culture, because we say culture is a way of life. And if people have been living with it for, you know,
well, things are changing, and it will take some time before things change totally. So culture is always evolving.
Certain cultures not.
Well, sure.
Yeah. So let me skip this one.
Right.
Yeah.
We'll see how that goes.
You had a good weekend too?
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
Okay.
Yeah. I went for a beautiful wedding on Saturday.
Oh wow. I don't remember the last time I went.
You went for a wedding, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So.
Okay, all right. But something big also did happen yesterday, and it was massive.
Yes, it was.
Sometimes it takes somebody to die for you to see that they really had following. It's interesting. But that story is captured in almost all the newspapers today. You won't believe it. That's the banner headline on the front page of the Daily Graphic newspaper. So if the graphic carries a story and it's like the main headline on their page, then you know that that person is absolutely huge. Ebony, they marked 1 week of her passing yesterday at the St. Martin de Porres School. And I wonder, would they go to school today? Would the school be open today? That was just what I was thinking yesterday when I saw the crowd.
There'll be a lot of waste.
Well, they have to put the place in order. And I don't know.
I hope that they'll do that.
Yeah. All right. Okay, so let's
I hope it's also not going to be the school children, because...
No, it would definitely not be the school children. Definitely not. On the front page of the Daily Graphic newspaper this morning, you'd see this. Ebony reigns as 1 week observance turns into carnival. I guess it's her name, the creative name that she got, Ebony Reigns, it kind of depicts what happened yesterday at the St. Martin de Porres. Yeah.
It was surprising to see lots of people, though. But I don't know whether all of them were moved by the event or were her loyal fans. But everybody
That's the thing, because you know, not too long ago, she also launched her album at the Golden Tulip Hotel. We didn't see this kind of crowd. But that's it with Ghanaians, isn't it? Sometimes even when they really like you, they don't show it when you're alive. It's only when you die. We have a way
of trying to hide our feelings in a way.
Do we hide our feelings, or we pretend?
I don't think it's the pretense. It's just when we're not people of the type of who like showing off. So.
Really?
Yeah, we feel that everything has to be measured.
Ayo. So that's in the paper. It's on page 3, really. Just a bit.
Reminds me of Shatawale's Ayo.
Yeah, a bit of it in the paper, and okay, so let's, as it has been written, the 1 week observance of the passing of the famed musician Priscilla Opoku Kwarteng, popularly known as Ebony Reigns, turned out to be a carnival as thousands of people from all walks of life thronged the St. Martin de Porres School at Dansoman, Accra yesterday to mourn her. So cheers and smiles quenched the tears on the packed school compound, where both human and vehicular traffic was so thick that the police had to close the road leading to the school at the Dansoman roundabout. By 10:30 a.m. yesterday, the usually quiet neighborhood began to soak in probably the heaviest traffic it had seen in years. The mourners outside the school compound were more than those inside, with some finding space on the school walls and trees. Before we wrap up, we'll bring you a video version of what you've heard, some comments that some people, you know, also had to make there. But I love the picture that they bring on the front page of the Daily Graphic of Ebony with, is it a wine glass or champagne in that bottle? She's smiling. I'm sure she's in a happy place. Also on the front page of the paper, GE Power, Marinos Energy to use flared gas to generate power. That story is on page 20 in the paper. 6 perish in boat disaster. And then overhaul tax or overhaul tax exemption regime to save industries. That's a call by the AGI. So we will go to page 16 and then see this overhauling story also.
It means
on
that
page
the AGI
61.
is still not satisfied with perhaps some of the reforms, tax reforms that have been undertaken by government.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So on page 16, on these 6 persons who perished in the boat disaster, it says a pregnant woman and 5 others drowned when the boat on which they and 7 others were traveling capsized on the Volta Lake near Bruben in the Afram Plains North Districts in the eastern region around 6 p.m. last Saturday. The 5 others who lost their lives included 3 women and 2 girls. The boat was traveling from Fokopo to Bruben. So details of that disaster, sadly, is in the paper. Okay, so there's a picture of an insert of events as they unfolded at the St. Martin de Porres school yesterday. I see Mohamed Okron, I see Wache, and some others who went to mourn with Ebony's family. Okay. And then on the MPP chairmanship race, I'm not contesting for personal interests. That's Stephen Ntim, and I remember him very well. Way back when I was at Choice FM, that's like many years ago, he was in the race to become the chairman. And I think I did one of my hottest interview for the first time live, like on the midday news bulletin with him. And I hope he will become chairman someday.
Yeah. I think you are, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love his resilience. Yeah. Yeah. I've interviewed him a couple of times too.
Yeah.
I saw him, I think, last week.
Okay.
Just outside.
Has been in the midst. Yeah. Okay, on the back page of the Daily Graphic newspaper, health managers alarmed over stillbirths, neonatal deaths in the Upper West region. It says that health managers in the Upper West region have raised concern over the rising incidence of stillbirths and neonatal deaths in the region. So stillbirths increased from 299 in 2016 to 314 in 2017 across the region, while neonatal deaths, that's death of a child within 28 days of birth, also increased from 135 in 2016 to 149 in 2017. So the respective increases of up to 10% have alarmed managers of the health sector in the area. Absolutely so, because this is unacceptable. Well, we hope that they're not just talking about it, but they're actually also going to fix the problem, most importantly. So really, that's it for the Daily Graphic newspaper, Roland.
All right, so let's do the Ghanaian Times. It has on the front page, 21 cops dismissed, 37 others reprimanded, and 13 reduced in rank for various offenses. The story on page 3 of the paper just significantly also talks about, additionally, a total of 282 personnel of the Ghana Police Service facing disciplinary action within the same period, the previous year, showing a reduction of some 60% in the cases though. And the offenses apparently were assault on their own colleagues, robbery, deserts in their duty, undue delay in investigations, the lack of civility to the public, and abuse of office, among others. So we found the Director General of the Ghana Police Service in charge of public relations, David Eklu, disclosing to the Ghanaian Times in Accra, stating that the personnel who also distinguished themselves during the year were also presented with awards during the period. Well, that's a good thing, but we've had some sporadic, if not some reports in the media, especially involving personnel of the Ghana Police Service who have been recalcitrant one way or the other and disgracing the uniform. So if the police administration or the police management is taking this decision or these decisions, then it means that they want to make sure that they instill discipline. Now let's look at this. Charging approved fees at senior high schools, errand heads to face sanctions, according to the president. And the president was addressing former students as well as current students and management of the St. John's, of the Pope John's Secondary School, as well as Minor Seminary in Kofodia. We have Parliament to decide the fate of Martin Amidu tomorrow. And the story is on page 4. We know that he had an extended appearance before the Appointment Committee of Parliament. I think it's one of the longest ever, if not the longest I've ever witnessed in the Fourth Republic as far as the vetting of nominees appearing before the Appointment Committee. On page 17, though, there's an interesting story saying that the heads of institutions who apparently have failed to respond to audit observations or queries by the Auditor General after 30 days will have their salaries blocked. And this is coming from the Auditor General, Daniel Yao Domelevo. He said it was inappropriate for heads of such institutions to delay these responses to audit findings until they appeared before the Public Accounts Committee, hence the need to invoke the sanctions. We'll see how that goes, whether he has the power to do so. Maybe he can recommend. Whether the action will be taken would also be another thing. On the back page of the Ghanaian Times, though, we have First Lady opens ships compound at Nyanshegu, and then we have maidens trounce Djibouti to book their 6th World Cup berth. The issue is not about the qualification out of Africa to the World Cup. It's how we perform when we get to the World Cup. And the maidens, they are the junior team, the women's junior team for Ghana. That is the under-17 ladies team for Ghana. Now let's look at the Daily Guide newspaper. The Daily Guide newspaper has on the front page the story heavily discussed here on the show as well as throughout the media, or especially over the weekend on Newsfile especially. Judges fire Tuguba, that's the Daily Guide. Judges fire Tuguba over bogus reports. And then we have tears flow for Ebony. And President warns rogue headmasters. Parliament votes amid, almost like same headlines in the Ghanaian Times. So those are the stories. Let's go to the center spread though. You have the tears flowing for Ebony, and according to the story, an overwhelming number of Ghanaians throng in the St. Martin's de Paris School at Dansoman to observe the one-week celebration of the late popular musician Ebony Rains. You have a picture there of Dr. Lawrence Tete, Grace Omabo, Amankwam Pofu, and a section of the crowd. I won't stop cooking for my boyfriend Nanaba. Celebrated broadcaster Nanaba Anamwa describing as unacceptable allegations and claims by some feminists that cooking for a husband is slavery. And then we have Support Me, Build a Home for the Aged. Karima Agoya, I hope I pronounced their name right. Karima though. Okay, there's a lady who used to be on Things We Do for Love back in the day. All right, so those will be the stories we have, Ghanaian Times as well as the Daily Guide newspapers.
Let's follow that up with the Finder newspaper. So I've got the Finder on the front page. Porous borders fueling insecurity as immigration grapples with serious logistical constraints. And then Ghana needs leaders who translate words into action. That's from our President Ekufuado there. And I think that should be the headmistress of Pope John Senior High School and then seminary as well, because they celebrated their 60th anniversary and the president was there. Government on track according to the CDD, and then certificates don't guarantee automatic jobs according to AGI president. So where do we take this from? Let's do, I'm interested in the certificates don't guarantee automatic jobs. It says the president of the Association of Ghana Industries, Dr. Yao Edijemfi, has advised students not to concentrate on acquiring certificates alone, but also learn additional skills training to be relevant on the job market. Quotes, what is happening to our youth now is that everyone wants to have a certificate. Certificates don't grant you jobs. It gives you opportunities. However, with a skill, one's chances are higher, on quotes. What else could be said apart from that? You probably might want to read the rest of what he had to say. Really, really important. That story is in the Finder newspaper. And then this one on CDD saying that the government is on track. So the Ghana Center for Democratic Development, CDD Ghana, made a report on the implementation of the NPP government's flagship infrastructure for poverty eradication program. IPEP indicates that the government is on course. So the IPEP program, predicated on the government's economic vision that systematically decentralizing infrastructure development would spur economic growth, create jobs, and reduce poverty, would see government allocate some $1 million for each of the 275 constituencies in the country annually. So although significantly different in terms of structure and focus, IPEP does not depart too far from several other developmental initiatives over the years. But I think somewhere within that report, they also say that this whole program has been hijacked by some NPP activists. It's supposed to be headed by technocrats, but you find typical party people in charge of this program.
And that's a problem we have in our country.
Yeah. Okay, so this is also another angle to that report that's in the Finder newspaper. And then Samson Ladiayenini has a piece in the Finder today, is on page 7. It's titled Fear of the Floodgates and the Country in Bad Need of More Lawyers. Just one line. It says that a nation that produces 1,000 law degree holders each year but has space for less than half that number to go on to become lawyers cannot be solving the problem of a serious deficit of lawyers. And I'll leave the rest to you to read, because it's you know, anytime he writes, his pieces are really good, so you've got to read. And then there's also another opinion note here for Dr. Dodoy. I call him Dr. Dodoy, but others say Dr. Dodoy, so I'm not sure. But he's the medical director in charge of the Ankafo facility, the psychiatric hospital, and he's been in the news on and off because, you know, the workers there say that he's making them sick, really, essentially. They don't like the way he's leading them. But I heard on the other side of it, this is from the Ministry of Health, that there's been a lot of improvements in terms of the facility and what they do. But this one is human relations. So we're not sure. Earlier, they gave him about some 3 months to go and work on himself in terms of management, acquiring management skills or whatever it is to be able to relate to the workers. But now they're calling for him to be taken away totally. So, well, we heard that had been granted, but we're not sure. The people say the directive has not hit them in the facility, so they're still embarking on a certain strike action. We'll check with our colleague Richard Kojunyako to see if they're still on with the strike. Well. I know him really, 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 really well as well. He used to appear on my program back where we used to be. Yeah, so, you know, right, good morning. Except that, you know, we obviously didn't work with him in that context, so we're not sure what the workers mean when they say the things that they've been saying. I'm just a little, you know, in terms of the response by particularly the PRO of the health ministry. I don't know, is he like a decision maker himself, or he communicates what has the decisions that have been taken? You know, like you listen to him and it's more like
the chief director.
Exactly, yeah, like he's telling you what he thinks. I mean, but it's not about what you think.
Remember that issue with who heads the Rage
Hospital?
That is the Greater Accra Regional Hospital. Yeah.
I don't know. I
think he laces his.
So he talks like he's an authority,
with some,
like he's an
some
authority
sarcasm and all that. But I think I like him.
You like, yeah. Well, you know, yeah.
He seems to be somebody who's on top of it.
It's amazing. Maybe he knows what he's on. You know, like when you know what you're stepping on. Yeah, you talk with Vim, because otherwise I don't know. But that's it for the Finder newspaper, Roland.
All right, so
you're going to go online? Okay, then let me follow up with the Business and Financial Times newspaper. It's the last newspaper we do, and then we will go online. Oh, we've got the Daily Dispatch as well. So Business and Financial Times, Central Bank jettisons offloading of chips shares. Local manufacturers deserve waivers too, according to industrialists. And then VRA to sell, in quotes, non-core businesses. Story says that the country's largest power producer, the Volta River Authority, is seeking to privatize most of its non-core businesses as the authority strategizes to become one of the leading power producers in the sub-region. I guess the question is, what constitutes the VRA's non-core businesses? That's for you to check out in the Business and Financial Times newspaper. Really, that's it for the front page headlines in the BNFT. Quickly, we do the Daily Dispatch front page headlines. Focus on child migrants from northern to southern Ghana. It's a story inside the paper. 5 million Ghanaians defecate openly daily, like as we speak now, like as you're watching me right now, somebody's doing this in the open right now.
I think this is even the right time, right? That they do it. Yeah, no pentino.
Right now, it will take...
Especially along the beaches, from Aflau to Axib. Easy. Free range.
If you're watching and you're getting ready to go and do it, shame on you.
The breeze around the beaches are the correct one.
It's a very funny excuse indeed. If you keep what you do it well, you can even carry newspapers and magazines and things like that. It's one of the coolest places to spend time.
Have you done it in the bush before?
No.
Okay. I know you will say, you will say yes.
How?
Oh, yeah,
okay, so shame on you. If you haven't, but you're getting ready to do it this morning, and you know where you're going to do it. Are you sure you never did it? Not even when you were in school? Do you know where I went to school? I went to Zion College. I'm proud of that. Okay. But I lived with my grandmother.
Okay. Yeah. You lived in the house and you went to school.
So they say it would take 500 years to stop unless ... You're going to check that out.
We need to
that's according to UNICEF. It's heartbreaking, but that's the reality, really. Because we did our own campaign. You remember Clean Communities? We had our own project. I tell you what, go back to those same communities and the people, they've got the facilities put up. Sometimes we say it's because there are no toilet facilities, but in most of these places, there are, and the people still would do it. Yeah. Don't tell me there's no public toilet in La.
There is. It's just that, you know, I remember back in the day, I used to do lots of stuff in sanitary conditions, and you go there, and they tell you that no need heat yemi. Okay, what in show now? And I get I
think it's just, you know, if we're able to prosecute, successfully, then people will find it as that's the only thing. It's just let's punish them hard. That's all. Professor Atugbe's research on politics and judgments annoys judges.
Yeah, we discussed this on Friday.
Yeah, we did discuss it on Friday. And we know that following through from Newsfile and all the other conversations, people say that he should publish like all the details and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. And they're being so hard on him and everything. But I say that it's still, you know, good work. We don't, and I hope that this does not make him not want to do such, you know, things, such findings, reports, whatever. And we hope that it doesn't discourage other people as well, you know, from researching into things like this. We need these things. It helps with the discourse. After all, we say the Fourth Republic is 25 years.
The judiciary is one of the arms of government.
Yeah, and some people have said that. So
if we can talk about,
they are checking the executive, they are checking the legislative, who is checking the judiciary.
But anyway, I have no opinion on this. So, but we have to go online. And as we do that, I have this one from Eric Mensa Oklu of Akachi. He says, good morning. I want to wish Togbui Aho, the 4th of Akachi, happy anniversary for being on the throne for 35 years. Yeah.
Okay.
If a Yadema is on it, it's complaining. Anyway, so let's go on. We have myjoyonline.com. So, Mama, we have Myjoy Online. We have some interesting stories.
FDA dispels social media news about fake palm oil. So, the FDA, that's the Food and Drugs Authority, they've assured the public that it has instituted regulatory measures to ensure the safety of palm oil on the market, as well as export consignments for consumption. And then there's a weekly wrap-up video, special prosecutor, is it a prosecutor? Dramatic vetting, shot dead with a knife. Okay, so you can catch up with this weekly wrap on myjoyonline.com. Car stray into Nigeria airport runway, delay aircraft
only in Africa.
Landing.
Shithole.
So no, it's not. And listen, if this happened in America, like choppers will be, news reporters will be reporting. That one you won't say is a shithole, but if it happens in Africa, then it is.
Cows.
Really?
Cows.
Really?
Cows.
So an Air Peace flight was prevented from landing Saturday as cows strayed into the runway of the Akure Airport in Ondo State. But this is coming out of a bigger conversation of, herdsmen and cattle and, things like that. Yeah. So it's part of that the fact that it's not regular, it's not regulated, and, you can carry your animals anywhere for them to go and graze, and, that's it, really. It's not the fact that it's Africa or it's Nigeria. I totally disagree with you.
I know.
And that's a very unfair comments coming from you.
Very unfair.
Ebony signed Kasapreko contract 3 weeks before her death.
Mama,
so
is it
as
true?
yes, it is true. She was going to be the face of Choco Malts.
Oh!
Yeah. But you know that Kasapreko actually also sponsored her album launch. So that's a company that's has been largely behind her as well. Choco Malts. So she's going to be the face of...
It's got alcohol.
No, it's non-alcoholic. So she was going to be...
Ebony.
But she had been the ambassador for another product before, and so this was the next phase of it. Yeah. So there were good things coming ahead.
Now they should
God knows best.
Shatawale.
Shatawale is also a face of one of their products, I think. Ebony to be buried March 17, and yesterday I heard Abeku Santana, who emceed the 1 week, say that he was asking the people where should they do the funeral, because even the 1 week and they thought they had a good enough space. So people were saying stadium, people were saying Independence Square, but I think he hinted that where Kaba's own was done. That's exactly what he said.
State Town.
Where we did Kaba's own. Yeah.
But
so I figure
if you look at the crowd.
I figure I don't know. Okay, so let's move on. When I heard Amidu appointed special prosecutor, I ran away. That's according to the Adenta MP, member of parliament. Okay, so this is, let me put it in context. So he was also one of those people who were surprised, in fact, shocked.
That the president will nominate
Martin Amidu. So he said he was in parliament when a reporter wanted to find out his views, and then he said when he heard it, he just left the reporter.
When the reporter asked him, he had to leave and say, how come the president do this?
Okay, so you can catch up if you missed Newsfile. Please don't miss Newsfile, not for anything. But sometimes because of other events. So if you may, please just catch up on myjoyonline.com. Professor Asari on, Professor Atugube's research, he says it reflects judges' judicial philosophy. So stop the political football. Yeah, okay. So,
but he's in the United States, so he can talk anyhow.
Oh, no, it doesn't matter. Listen, he's done...
Professor Atugubo, no kakakra, who's a pressure.
No. But if you look at Professor Atuguba, he doesn't talk a lot.
Yeah.
He doesn't, he's not like everywhere. Even when he does something, he's not. So this is very typical of him. But you can't also say that because Professor Asari is not here. Even though he's not here, he's fought for us more than some of the people who are here. Yeah.
True.
Okay, let's move on quickly. Bolga residents want GTV to replay Amidu Betty. It says Bolga residents have appealed to management of GTV to replay.
This one was also about in relation to where he comes from.
Yeah.
He grew up and his parents lived in Bolga. In Boku?
Boku? Yeah, he lived in Boku. But listen, I tell you, all the Bolga residents who want GTV to replay this, pay your TV license. Let's quickly run through. But listen, you can catch up with this. You just have to link up because we upload it.
You didn't read this one.
On myjoyonline.com. Which one is that? God, if you are here, strike Ebony's enemies. Emotional Shatawale praise. I hear he's been fasting. And of course, myjoyonline was definitely there on the grounds, and they were giving us updates, as and when things happen. So that's Ebony's mother and father, and one of the things that her death has also done is to bring both parties together as well. And they say that in the Ashanti culture, or in the Akan culture, if you like, when this is your first child that has died, you being white, while everybody else was black.
But I'm told that there's an elders.
No, but that's your first child that has died. That's what I mean.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's why the parents were in white and everybody else was in black or red. Okay, so that's it for my joyonline.com. We're going to go to City, Roland.
So we have City. Ghanaian who invented water bicycle gets scholarship. Got a university scholarship from the Takrady Technical University.
But you know, I felt ashamed because I saw it for the first time, I think on BBC Focus on Africa. And I was like, oh, but this is right here in Ghana. How did we miss it? You know?
But this was also filed by a Ghanaian correspondent. So
I get it, but Charlie, this is home. This is homegrown, you know? Yeah, but we're happy.
But in Ghana, we don't love our own, man. It's always normal. Okay, CJ's comments on Atugube's research affront to free speech, lawyer.
So now the lawyers are speaking, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So we have old age won't stop Amidu from performing Kisley Hayford. All right. And be ready to fight mafias.
Be
ready to fight political mafias. Lawyer to Amidu.
Isn't that what he's done almost all his life?
He has to fight more, according to the lawyer, though.
Okay, all right, that's it for City FM Online, and then let's do the BBC, and we will bring you, like we usually do, we've got a wrap of some of the things that happened. So Morgan Tsvangirai, Mourn at Harare service. Let's bring you a video that captures the moment as, you know, the body arrived in Zimbabwe. We know that he died in South Africa from cancer, but he's been flown back to Zimbabwe. That's on Saturday. Let's watch this.
Hundreds thronged Zimbabwe's main airport on Saturday as the body of opposition icon Morgan Tsvangirai, who died of cancer in neighboring South Africa, arrived home for burial. Tsvangirai, a fearless opponent to the ruling ZANU-PF party, died on Wednesday at the age of 65 after a lengthy battle with colon cancer.
Morgan Tsvangirai will be remembered as a fighter for the basic freedoms that other people take for granted, which were never accorded to the people of Zimbabwe. The freedom of association, the freedom of expression, the freedom of assembly, the freedom to choose leaders of your choice without intimidation, without fear, and so on and so forth. He will be remembered as the man that gave the voice to those suppressed aspirations of the people of Zimbabwe.
The body was taken to a military camp where the bodies of national heroes lie in state before burial. Opposition compatriots earlier held memorial services in Harare and Bulawayo to honor Tsvangirai, who was often derided by former President Robert Mugabe as a stooge of the West. He will be buried on Tuesday in his rural home in Buhera, 250 kilometers south of Harare.
This video courtesy the Africa News, and so yeah, that's it. That's one of the strongest persons in opposition to have fought well.
We should remember he was also a prime minister.
Yes, he was a prime minister. He had to share power.
After 2008.
At some point. Okay, so that's it on this.
He made a lot of compromises.
Yeah. Okay, so we also wanted to bring you a bit of Ebony because we know that later on this morning, later this morning on entertainment, Becky will bring us. You want the one with Shatawale? Okay. No problem. I haven't listened to Shatawale say what he said. I'm not sure that will. But let's see which one that we can play to you now.
Okay.
It's over to Fred.
So some bites from Ebony Reign's 1 week celebration.
Undoubtedly, a big gathering where friends, family and well-wishers thronged the St. Martin's de Porres School to mark 1 week since the passing of talented musician Priscilla Opoku-Kwarteng, better known in showbiz as Ebony Reigns. The event was graced by top entertainers, the likes of veteran actress Mame Dokno, Prince Yosin, Fela Makafui, and the president of the Musicians Union of Ghana, Bice Osekufo, shared their fond memories of the late Poison hitmaker.
When I remember Ebony, immediately what comes to mind is somebody who is able to make use of her talent in total glare, in totality. She uses her art, she uses her costuming, she uses her skill, her dance, and of course the language. Even though sometimes she doesn't write her songs, she's able to own the song and deliver the song as if it is hers.
It is unfortunate that death laid his heavy hands on her. I've wept and wept and wept and wept. Like the mother, she can't come back. She's gone. So we should all just leave.
Shatawale is crying. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Okay, quiet. Quiet. Afamutie. I want to ask you one question. Ghana, I want to ask you one question. When you go support Ghana musician? When you go support Ghana musician Ghana? When you go support we? As a bonny day alive, the media men they here, the radio presenters today here. You insult us for radio, I rather you are there. God can punish you one by one. Somebody's daughter, if you dress, you say you show him breast, you say no the respect. But today you poor there. God, if you tell here, why they watch the enemies, God, I won't make you strike. Make the sister in their life.
Shatta reigns.
Oh, Shatta, baby. Shatta.
SM
Get used to reality,
life.
Shatta. Can somebody tell him that for me? Okay, listen.
But I love Shatta Wale.
Yeah, we all like him. Yeah. It's just that sometimes some of the things that he says.
Yeah.
I don't have anything. I mean, I don't think he said anything wrong. He's entitled to what he said, except that it won't stop anything. You know. Yeah. So you can be angry all you like, but that's the reality. So I know. Just don't. What am I
But
even
I
saying?
think that we should also make sure that we don't discount prophecies, because prophecies really, even from the Bible.
But he's not necessarily talking about the prophecies.
No, I'm not necessarily
Listen,
him. I'm talking about the conversation now.
In terms of somebody being criticized, that's life. It will happen. It will definitely happen. This is media. We talk about everything. It doesn't mean that, you know, you won't go to strike who, really.
All the enemies. Oh,
Shatta. Yeah. Okay, that's it for the review. We hope that you enjoyed this segment of our show. Stay with us. Benedict is coming out. I think there were some FA
Cup results.
Yeah, exactly. And it's Spurs that almost everybody's talking about because of their game yesterday and how they have to, you know, replay, if you like. Even as they are in the Premier League. So stay with us. Benedict would get you up to speed. Pyeongchang, we don't talk much about it because I think the only Ghanaian, I don't know. Yeah.
It was 30 out of 30, but he tried.
Was it 30 out of 30?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then I'm sure there are other local things that happen in Ghana. Sadly, we're not, yeah. Are we still playing our league?
No, the league hasn't started.
Because of the legal action.
There's been an injunction.
You see, that's what happens. That's why we don't even know where we are, really. So stay with us. Benedict would keep up to speed. And then we will come back. Today we're talking about, and it's sad in this country. Just like, look at this 1 week celebration that turned into a carnival for Ebony. It's like a reflection of almost everything that we do. So we have families that go and put their family members at the Wager Leprosarium, Roland. And then, you know, they don't even visit them. They don't care for them. They just go and dump them there. But guess what? As soon as they die, these same families pick up these bodies and they go and organize funerals for them. And they pretend to be sad. And we're putting a spotlight on this. MFA Dradosi did a piece for us, but we've also got Father Campbell who's joined us in the studio. And we've said that there's a thin line between life and death. Today, will scare you a bit, but because we keep saying that any of us could end up in prison. So we'll talk about Seth Kwame Boateng's latest Hotline documentary, which is Death Row. Stay with us here on Joy News. Don't change the dial, because we're bringing you all these conversations right here on our show today.